Learn the 6 principles for staying focused in a world full of distractions. Don't blame technology. Distraction begins from within. Learning to manage your internal emotions is key to finding focus and living a more meaningful life. Just a second, sweetie. I just need to answer this real quick, I told my daughter. I still glued to my phone screen. It took me a long time to realize how wrong I was. No, it wasn't just a second. No, I didn't need to answer that email immediately. I'm a researcher. Urgent messages are rare and rarely life-altering. And no, it wasn't just a small thing. I know myself well. Once I check my phone, I'll likely get pulled into a never-ending stream of information. Karma. By the time I looked up, my daughter had already walked away. What haunts me isn't the time I lost, but the moment I missed. Before the interruption, we were playing a fun game, sharing what superpowers we'd love to have. It was a chance to connect, but I ruined that moment with my own distraction. If you're a parent in the 21st century, you've likely experienced something similar. But it's not just parents. Distraction affects all of us. It's become so common that we barely notice it anymore. Yes, we're lucky to have powerful devices that connect us to the world and grant us access to infinite knowledge. But the downside, those same devices are often what pull us away, especially in the moments that matter most. Of course, smartphones weren't the first thing to cause distraction. Before them, people blamed the TV. And before that, landlines, comic books, even radio. Over 2,000 years ago, Socrates criticized writing, fearing it would make people forget the deeper wisdom that lives in the soul. Still, our era feels unique. Distraction seems to surround us at every turn. A 2014 study found that merely placing a phone on the table can change the quality of a conversation, and that's a mild example. Look at the alarming statistics around distracted driving in the US, and it's clear how serious this has become. After brushing off my daughter to read a non-urgent email, I knew something had to change. My first instinct, blame the tech. I tried digital detoxes, switched to a flip phone, subscribed to paper newspapers, even bought a 1990s typewriter without internet. I thought removing the tech would make me the focused, present father I wanted to be. But I was wrong. Sitting at the typewriter, my eyes wandered to the bookshelf. Maybe I should just flip through this for research, I told myself. And when I wasn't reading, I'd find something else: fold laundry, clean my desk. It wasn't the technology, I was the one distracting myself. Karma. That realization led me on a 5-year journey to understand distraction, what causes it, and how to overcome it. What I found surprised me. Much of what we believe about focus is backward. Real change doesn't come from ditching your phone. It comes from learning to manage the emotions that push us to seek distraction in the first place. Most of the time, distraction is our brain's way of avoiding uncomfortable emotions: boredom, loneliness, anxiety, fatigue, uncertainty. These are internal triggers that send us searching for an escape. Instead of focusing on a task, we open a new tab, scroll through social media, or check our inbox again. But when we recognize these feelings, we can choose a better response, like pausing to take 10 deep breaths instead of opening Twitter. Put simply, distraction isn't the real problem, it's the symptom. The root issue is our struggle to deal with negative emotions like fear, stress, or self-doubt. Without addressing them, we just keep swapping one distraction for another. Over time, avoidance becomes a habit in both our work and personal lives. The good news, that very discomfort is also our greatest tool for growth. Negative feelings aren't the enemy, they're motivation. As psychologist Roy Baumeister wrote in 2001, if pleasure and satisfaction were enough, we'd have no reason to keep striving. Without difficult emotions, we'd never reach the good stuff. Once we understand what distraction really is, we can learn to master it and improve every part of life. For me, that's meant more focus, better health, deeper happiness, and higher productivity. It seems obvious in hindsight, but it took a long road to get there. Becoming indistractable doesn't just make life better, it helps you savor every moment more fully. Discover your internal triggers to spot the emotions that lead to distraction. Take time for introspection. When you notice yourself drifting, pause and ask, what am I feeling right now? Is there fear? Stress? Then dig a little deeper. What caused that feeling? How does it show up in my body? I realized my own anxiety over a project often led me down rabbit holes on Wikipedia. But that anxiety wasn't all bad, it meant I cared. Sometimes, simply telling myself, I'm distracted because I'm worried this won't meet expectations. That's okay. It means I'm trying. And that matters. Helped me refocus. That shift in thinking can make a real difference. Here's the irony. Internal triggers can feel huge, but the solutions are often simple. If boredom makes you procrastinate, you can anticipate that. For example, doing taxes is boring, so limit it to just 10 minutes. That's the 10-minute rule. A simple way to break the cycle of distraction. In the case with my daughter, maybe it was anxiety about work or fear of missing a critical email. But I could have addressed that. I could have asked a colleague to monitor my inbox, or set an auto-reply saying urgent matters should be called in. Or maybe I could have just accepted I might miss something and that's okay. All of these are better responses than letting distraction win. Whatever your approach, simply becoming aware of your internal triggers is a huge step. In one study on quitting smoking, people who learned to observe their cravings were twice as successful as those in traditional programs. Awareness alone can be powerful. Shift your perspective. Once you identify your internal triggers, you can change the way you view the task in front of you. Instead of thinking I have to do my taxes, try, this is a chance to reflect on my financial year. It might sound silly, but it works. Another strategy. Find the fun in what you're doing. I know it sounds corny, but hear me out. I don't just write books. I explore ideas. I'm not Hemingway, I'm Scooby-Doo solving a mystery. Research shows reframing even boring tasks in a playful light can shift your entire experience. Game designer Ian Bogost wrote, fun is still fun even if it doesn't feel great at first. Take working out. If you hate it, don't focus on the struggle. See every drop of sweat as proof your body is getting stronger. That burn, your muscles adapting. Often, difficulty is just a matter of mindset and you can choose a better one. Changing your perspective also helps how you treat yourself. I used to scold myself for losing focus. What's wrong with you? Near. But studies show self-criticism only makes it worse. Instead, I tried something new. Compassion. I'd think, you're distracted. Near. That's okay. What's going on? Let's figure this out. It changed everything. Define what truly matters. Introspection and reframing are internal work, but they're only half the picture. You also need to look at your reality, not just where your mind goes, but where your time goes. To stay focused, you have to make time for what matters, actions that move you toward the life you want. That doesn't mean cutting out fun or connection. On the contrary, those need a real place in your schedule. One effective approach: turn your values into time blocks. If family is your priority, decide how much time you'll spend with them and put it on the calendar. If health matters, carve out time to move and rest. When vague values like health or family become visible on your calendar, they turn into clear priorities. When I tried this, I realized I could enjoy what I loved, like social media, without guilt or distraction. I simply gave it a spot in my day. Now, I scroll Twitter knowing it's my time, not an escape from something else. Reduce external distractions. Notice I didn't start here. That's because before tackling external triggers, you need to understand your internal ones and build a calendar that reflects your real priorities. Once that's done, then yes, clean up your environment. Start with your email. Set times to check and reply. Use Slack purposefully, not reactively. Declutter your phone. Delete unused apps. Turn off non-essential notifications. Be selective about what you consume online. Know what truly matters and let go of the rest. The goal is simple: reclaim control of your environment to support focus, not sabotage it. Pre-commit to stay on track. Planning ahead is the antidote to impulse. When you pre-commit to something, you reduce your reliance on fleeting willpower. Once a decision is made, you're more likely to follow through. Think of it this way: if you've bought a plane ticket to your best friend's wedding, you probably won't back out last minute. Or if your retirement fund penalizes early withdrawals, you're less likely to splurge. Studies show these kinds of commitments, help from gym buddies to online grocery orders, that prevent impulse buys. I used this strategy to finish my book. I made a bet with a friend. If I missed the deadline, I'd owe him $10,000. I kept my money and finished the book. Used wisely, these commitments help you overcome bad habits and stay on track. But remember, this should be your last step. First, manage internal triggers, schedule your values, and clean up distractions. Then, let pre-commitments be your final shield against losing focus. The core principles of staying focused. Distraction signals a deeper emotional issue. Address the root, not just the symptom. Identify internal triggers. Pause, reflect, and understand what's really going on. Reframe your mindset. Find a new, more empowering way to see the task ahead. Prioritize what matters. Make time for your values. Schedule the life you want. Minimize external noise. Control your tech. Curate your environment. Plan ahead. Use pre-commitments to support your long-term focus and growth.